Hello, good morning. Let me see. How is everyone today?
Good. How about you?
Good
Hello.
morning.
Good morning. How are you, ladies?
Good. How
Good.
about yourself?
Good. I'm very good. Well, welcome everyone to Backstage. I know we've been on a little hiatus for a little while, but I'm very excited to be back. How are you guys feeling today after today's powerful sermon?
Feeling great. The
Yeah.
sermon was awesome. Awesome word.
Yes, that was
Yeah,
very deep.
it was. It was.
Enjoyed it a lot. Is this just going to be us three today? Or are we still going to be waiting on a couple more people?
I thought there was supposed to be one more person. Mark is supposed
Right.
to be on.
Okay. So we have Michelle and Stephanie.
Yes.
All right. So I'm just going to get it started because I kind of want to get a little bit more on what you guys took from today's message. So, Michelle, I'll start with you. I want to know, what did you hear God saying to you today personally?
Personally, for me, it was more of a confirmation from something that I had been feeling um, during the week. Like Pastor Kevin mentioned, I was watching the trial of
Mm.
the former police officer Derek Chauvin, and I was watching by myself. And I remember I had this feeling. I was so emotional,
Right.
unexpectedly emotional, and when the judge was reading the verdict, and I was looking at his face, Derek Chauvin's face, and I remember a feeling coming over me of sadness for him.
Mhm.
But then in the next instant, I thought, why am I sad for him after what he did?
Right.
And, I was relieved that he got justice, or so I thought justice was served. But all week long, I just kept remembering that feeling of just sadness for him, but also feeling this can't be right. Like, why am I feeling that and the
Mhm.
confusion? But this sermon for me just confirmed that what I was feeling was okay
Right.
because, vengeance is the Lord's and that vengeance and justice are two different things.
Definitely.
So that was my big takeaway.
Wow, that's a powerful takeaway because I'm sure, like other people, this entire week has just been an emotional roller coaster. We're kind of in between if we
Definitely.
feel bad for that person, if we want to feel like we did get justice or the family got justice. And it's definitely been a roller coaster. So thank you for sharing that.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm sure there's other people that feel the exact same way as you. All right, so Stephanie, I'm going to ask you the second question now. So what phrase, quote, or word captured your heart today or your imagination? I want to hear a little bit about that.
Yeah, I really appreciated how he delivered a message of the generosity, like
Yeah.
how justice is just more than just getting like the right of action.
Mm-hmm.
Like I really appreciated he put in that generosity in there as well, because
Right.
that's something that you really don't think about, because you want whatever's wrong to be right
Mm-hmm.
immediately. Like you don't want to
Right.
delay, you want swift justice, as they
Mm-hmm.
say, right? And it's nice that it's more than just that,
Right.
especially those of us who are in social justice, we're activists, like we want things to be handled right away. We want all that done,
Mm-hmm.
but it's nice to say, hold up, slow down a little bit. There's more to justice than just right for someone, just correcting a wrong. There's reconciliation, there's restoration. And those are some things that many people don't think about. So I was definitely challenged as someone who is involved in the community, involved in immigration, involved in so many ills that are plaguing our society now, that um, don't be so fast,
Right.
slow down a little bit and think about the hearts of the people. And
Mm-hmm.
Pastor Kevin, you talked about that as well. It's more than just the right. It's people's hearts is being generous through answering or the social issues at hand. What about people's souls? What about restoring the relationships that have been broken
Yeah.
because of the injustice?
Mm-hmm.
So that was definitely challenged. And it's a timely word because everyone is so amped up about righting wrongs, about justice and social justice issues and just so many things. So it's nice to say, hold up, guys, I see you guys have a lot of energy, you want these issues solved, but definitely slow down and think about people's hearts,
Right.
restoration, think about restoring. And so I was blessed by it.
Love that. Love that. Love that. Love that. I want to encourage everyone to obviously give us some shout outs, give some comments. We want to know how you guys are feeling and if you guys can relate to what these ladies are saying, of course, because we kind of want to know everyone's perspective. We have Ghana Johnson saying, we really don't. Pastor Brown opened my mind and soul today. And I love hearing that. So we definitely want to get those comments flowing. Since you mentioned that, Stephanie, I actually do want to add on that the generosity part, it's like, even after we just found justice, you know, and a lot of people are feeling like, oh, we definitely, you know, we made it to the finish line.
Yeah.
This has been going on for decades now, you know, years and years and years that injustice has been going on. But we never really think about the part when it comes to, okay, so how are you feeling now? You know, there's people that go out on the street and are scared to death to get pulled over for anything, like any little small thing. So how are we dealing with these relationships that should be, you know, you should feel safe when you go out. You should feel like you're protected, like the cops are there on your side, you know, but a lot of people don't think that way. So in regards to restoring those relationships, that's very, very important, I feel like, especially during these times now.
Definitely.
So thank you for mentioning that. So Michelle, I'll go back to you since we haven't gotten Mark on here, but I'll just go back to you and, you know, just to add on to what we're going, because I'm really loving this conversation. But what did you hear you wish everybody else could hear today? Like, what's a message that you took from this that you will definitely be sharing throughout this week?
When Pastor Kevin talked about how punitive justice sometimes happens in our own families. You know, sometimes, you know, all families have disagreements, all families have issues, and sometimes we are so determined to get vengeance, and we don't realize that that is passed down, because when we do that, our children are watching, and the people that we're taking revenge against, their children are watching, and it's just something that just gets passed down because it's just what we've seen done. And you don't think about the effects. I mean, it's just as detrimental as what happens in the world, you know, what's happening in your home. And we just have to really be mindful of that. And sometimes that means you being the person in your family that has to say, wait a minute, you know, this isn't right, even though no one will agree with you and no one may want to, you know, hear what you have to say. But in being followers of Christ, we just have to be obedient and say, this isn't right.
Yeah, love that. I agree 100%. And they're coming from a big family myself, especially with like a lot of siblings. I can definitely relate to that little part, because there's always that one sibling that may just be the outcast, you know.
Right.
And a lot of people, I have been that outcast a bunch of times, and there's been other, because there's 5 of us, so I definitely see where that will come in play, you know, to just kind of be that outcast of that person. But you know, there's always has to be that leader. There always has to be that first person to kind of like put themselves out there, and you know, all it really takes is that one person. So that's all it really takes. So Dr. Brown, back to you. Obviously there was so many mic drops, I can say, from even when Miss Latoya was mentioning and she first started up. Oh, look, she just said, hey, family. So I just want to mention Latoya, that was amazing how you started that up today. I really, really love that, that she shared. So what was the mic drop moment for you, Dr. Brown? Like, what was that, what you heard? I don't know if it was a quote or the word or the message. What was it that really just said wow to you?
You know what? I have to go back to that generosity, because that is the last thing on many of our lists when we deal with social justice issues. You know, no one's we're trying to burn stuff down, right? You know, not us particularly as Christians, but, you know, society is like, okay, like we have been wrong. Let's hurt things. Some people damage things. And that's where like the riots come, because people have just been tired, you know, tired of things not working out in their favor. And generosity is sometimes the very last thing that people are thinking about. So I was definitely challenged with that. So for me, it was generosity and love. And having those two things need to be first, issues second, you know, because that's exactly what Jesus did. You know, he went to Zacchaeus and said, you know, Zacchaeus, come down here, knowing that society had counted him out. You know, like he was not going to be redeemed at all because he was a tax collector, you know. So in the midst of that, Jesus calls him out and says, you know, Zacchaeus, come down, I'm going to eat at your house. And what a statement. You know, Jesus is the activist, you know, so it's like for us, for the believers, love and generosity first, issues second. because when we love people with the love that God has given us as Christian, as believers, that's a direct line to the issue at hand.
Amen.
You know, so for me, the whole message just really helped me slow down and think about love and generosity first, issues second.
I love that. And people don't know how much that really does solve a lot, you know, just dealing with things that way instead of just wanting to get that vengeance, wanting to get
Yes.
back and try to solve all these other issues and kind of just keep your mindset on the problem and not really on the solution. So
Yes.
I want to kind of get that comment back up, but being generous in the moment when we've been wronged, it solves everything. It's way better than people think. Because in this whole idea of vengeance is not ours, it was very difficult for me when I first heard that, because I was like, what do you mean it's not ours? Like, I want to get my payback. You know, I feel like and even with the people that are going through the issues that are at hand now with the injustice, it's like we all want to feel like we did it, like we got the payback, like it was us, we got it, like, oh, don't worry, I got this for both of us, you've done enough, you know, I got it. But we just have to lead with a loving heart, you know. It shouldn't be, we're not really going to resolve anything by just, you know, coming back with more fire. So
and the civil rights movement was that, you know, it was generosity, love first, because it wasn't a revengeful movement. Because if it had, you know, we would still be rebuilding the wrath of what came, you know what I mean? But Martin Luther King and the people, it was love, you know, and he calls it, love is the most durable power, you know. So, you know, praise God. And that's only for believers, because only believers can do that. You know, only believers can love through pain and love through when you've been abused, love when you've been wronged, when injustice has come to you. Only believers can do that. So that is our call.
I love that. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing. All right, Michelle and Dr. Brown, I want to ask you both, what will be the peace cell that you guys will dive into this week? I want to hear that. I want to hear what you guys, why do you guys love that peace cell so much? I want to hear it.
Okay, well, I have not been at Peace Cell in a while, but when I have attended the Tuesday night Peace Cell led by Jessica Richards and Nicole Brody, it was wonderful. All the ladies there were so welcoming, and now that my schedule permits, I had something else on Tuesday nights, but I will be joining them again.
Love that for you. Great. What about you?
Yes. And it's the same thing with me. I haven't gone in quite some time, but I will get back there. I have a commitment on Thursday nights, which used to be our Peace Cell back in the day. So I've got to rearrange some things in order to make that happen.
Definitely. I encourage you ladies to get back into that, because I myself joined the Deep End Peace Cell on Thursdays, and it is amazing. Like, I don't know what it is. Well, I obviously know what it is. It's my family. Like, I love them. But I just go in there and we really just go all out. You know, we catch each other up on our lives. We have the prayer requests, and it's amazing to really have that community that you kind of like either you start your week with them or end your week with them. But it's just beautiful to kind of know that they're there, you know, and kind of reconnect as the week goes on. So I encourage you ladies and everyone, honestly, to get into a Peace Cell this week and just dive in deeper. And thank you guys so much for being a part of this Backstage. It was amazing, amazing to hear from both of you ladies. So thank you guys.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for having us.
Of course.
All right.
And thank you everyone for joining in Backstage, and hope to see you guys next week.
Okay.
Bye guys.
Bye.